advantage with that last pick.
Yeah, hard engage and not exactly a lot of peel for NME Esports, so if they get caught, they're not getting away either. So definitely some sticking power for the Yasuo. These teams finalizing their swaps, runes, and masteries. Ignite Nidalee, by the way, is what it's looking like for the mid lane matches. So maybe a very, very aggressive battle in the mid lane.
The most poorly drawn thing I've seen on someone's chest, unfortunately.
Oh, I missed it. Yeah,
I don't even, it's like a hammer, I think.
Okay.
Sorry, friend.
I missed it. Either way, I'm hoping it was Captain Hammer, because then it would be great.
Didn't miss much.
Maybe. Okay. Either way, the teams are loading onto the Rift, so head on to Twitter and let us know who you think is going to win this game. Tweet hashtag NME win or hashtag TIP win to @LOL Esports. Try code chance in the audience. It's going to be a fun game ahead of us, guys. Ignite for the Nidalee. Very aggressive. Exhaust for the Yasuo. So they are set to duel each other.
Yeah.
And here we go.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
You almost never see an offensive summer on mid lane Nidalee. Inox got something planned here. He wants to fight early and often.
All right, fighting early and often is typically Team Impulse's wheelhouse, though, which makes that kind of interesting. But with a lot of damage dealers on NME Esports, we talked to Adrian about that, and he says his team is full of carry, so he's had to adjust his playstyle.
I feel like I'm doing pretty good, but like there's more champions I want to play for the team, but there's certain champions my team wants me to play, so I have to play what they want. I'm more of a really aggressive player, but I have to play passive for our team because we have 3 carries, Rush, Impact, and Xiao Zhao. So we have to play safe bottom all the time. I really want to play aggressive, but I can't.
Force plays.
Yeah.
Team's style.
It's interesting. It almost always seemed like one of their strengths that everyone would go in. Everyone's on the same page, but I guess they just want to wait for the other guys to be playmakers, follow up afterwards.
That did always seem like the style of the team, that it was about those top 3 players, and the dueling would show up.
It's true. Can't make a basketball team with a bunch of people who just shoot every time. You need people who can pass, defend.
Team of 5 marksmen wouldn't win any games, most likely.
Unless, sometimes 5 marksmen on ARAM is pretty strong.
Until Malphite kills everyone by himself.
As long as the other team doesn't have Malphite.
If we win pick and ban, we can win the game.
Conditionals.
Always fun. Now, interesting conditions here in this game. No deep wards to speak of. There's been some wards to look for lane swaps or freezes and whatnot. You're seeing like a deep ward in the top lane. But either way, Team Impulse have sent their dual lane to the top side. They'll be taking Krugs. The same thing for the NME Esports dual lane here.
Yeah.
The top
interesting.
Jungle.
It was a defensive line setup, which, in my opinion, like, if you want to actually do a lane swap, my favorite setup to do it is actually to just do defensive wards and not do the deep ward thing that spots someone out and then scouts the lane. Because people have actually found ways around most of these things, whether it be, you know, going out into your lane early and waiting to recall, or only showing yourself through the ward before it's too late to actually swap lanes afterwards. So giving no information, denying the person from coming into your jungle, and being able to recall at peace and then safely walk somewhere feels like the best 50-50 role you could get for a lane swap. Or in this case, with Corki Nautilus, no one's actually expecting it, so to do it like this and not give any tells before you do so almost guarantees that you get the lane swap.
Lane swap comes through, so Impulse sending the dual lane up to that top side, and they've already got their support running around. Adrian warding up around the jungle, make sure nothing fishy is happening, and it looks like we will have a normal start all said and done. I'm trying to see what buffs Rush has, and he's already got the double buffs. Now also heading to that western jungle, so Impulse are able to actually take more of the buff camps away because of this very intricate level 1 setup.
Yeah, and they get to the lane as quickly as possible too. Rush will be hitting level 3, or sorry, Trashy will be hitting level 3 pretty quickly as well. I'm thinking this is just mainly a split, and Inox can't quite get aggressive yet until he sees where Rush is. Yeah. Otherwise, they're pretty much just trading.
You can only assume that they're on the top left side of his screen, but where exactly, who knows? Puts a ward down and a brush to stay alive, and Impulse will be able to collapse on top of this top lane outer turret. Mid lane goes equal, bottom lane still battling into the turret as well. That one's nearly gone, but now comes the aggression from Xiao Wei. Xiao has the knockup, lands it on an Inox. Exhaust means a lot of damage, but out goes the Nidalee. Flashes, I'm not sure if he needed to.
I think he was just afraid of Xiao getting another Q auto off on him and flashing for a kill. But yeah, I agree with you. That was a bit of an early flash. Definitely punishment coming out from Xiao's aggression early.
Well, it is a trade of summoners either way. Flash for exhaust, but a shorter cooldown for Xiao. We'll see as the later fight goes on. Inox is out of mana. He can use Cougar form, but no more heals. Otter, thanks to the earlier help from his jungle, will be able to take that turret down first. So far not answered by Team Impulse, but here comes the rest of the team. Xiao is missing exhaust. The hook doesn't quite land, but still, the walk forward play. The Q lands from Rek'Sai, and Xiao stays alive. Flare's in a bad spot. Kill goes over to Impact. The misplayed dive for the chase. Inox gets the kill with his Ignite. Xiao still nearly dead, and maybe there's enough damage. Inox on the hunt, goes for a little bit more. But it's a 1-for-1.
So many missed skill shots from NME, but it still results in a 1-for-1. They lose the first blood gold. Also, the kill distribution is split between the top and the mid laners. Basically, just a lot of action coming mid. Initiative by NME, but misplayed so they don't get the edge.
And Xiao able to limp through this lane with about 150 health, but gets enough CS to maybe buy some items. Sitting on 1,200 gold on the recall is actually a good break point for him. Inox, that forced the wind wall. Really made no difference
the
here.
recall, and especially Inox getting the double buffs is really swingy for this lane. Now he'll be able to sustain up and just spam out spears. It's very difficult to lane against what will end up being a back-to-back blue buff Nidalee once Inox's blue buff comes up again. It's going to be a bit of a struggle now for Xiao, despite his early lead, to hold his advantage in this lane.
Yeah, the funny thing about his early lead is he got no assists on those kills, even though they happened in his lane, so he didn't get any bonus gold for this. The rest of Team Impulse still slinking around the mid lane, something that Inox is aware of, so I feel like he'll be safe. But Rush still looking to take over the jungle. I mean, this is exactly what we expect out of this game. A lot of aggression early on, and every moment's like a bit tense here.
Yeah, and we had this discussion earlier, Freak, about NME actually being on the sour side of a lot of big early game engagements that end up happening. They had that one game where they lost 3 people at the very start of the game. Some of that kind of has to do with nerves, and they had a real danger of that happening once again with that dive in the mid lane when they flashed in, multiple flashes and ignites, didn't even secure the kill. They ended up getting away with it kind of because Inox was able to pick up one on the backside, but it still goes to show you some of that misplaying in critical early situations in the stage fright that this team is going to have to get over as this LCS split continues.
And as the rest of this game continues as well, we've been watching the mid lane for the most part. As the nerves settle, the duo lanes have swapped after their initial turret kills, and we're going to see another turret trade as Apollo will take down the bottom lane, and Otter will take down the top lane here. It'll even become a freeze if he wants it to do that. Level 5 on the Kalista, level 5 on the Corki. Pretty parallel lane, but the funny thing is here, normally when a team lane swaps away from the bot lane, it's a team that stayed that gets Dragon, and that 4 minutes ago could have been NME Esports here. Instead, they didn't go for Dragon when the lane swapped back. It's Impulse who did that.
Yeah.
Dragon 1 goes over to the red side.
And that's the cost of what NME did to the mid lane gank. That was the timing window in which they would have been taking the Dragon after the turret trade was done. Because of that, basically, Impulse is not only pretty much a turret up in gold. The turrets are obviously equal, but the 600 gold lead, they also have the Dragon.
A lot of good things done for this red team so far. The risks haven't bid them too far. 700 gold lead really just from farm because the kills and the turrets are the same. Yasuo's shield roughly tanks a Nidalee javelin at this level. Takes a bit of damage, but then can build it back up. But we're seeing Xiao doing a great job in this mid lane up against Inox. And Rush out farming Trashy.
Yeah, Rush's out farming of Trashy is the biggest difference in this game. It's actually 500 gold right there. Gank in the top lane.
Exhaust is good, Flay is good as well. Impact does not have any summoners. He used it in the initial brawl. That means a kill over to Otter, and it equalizes the gold here, equalizes the farm lead with a big wave in the top lane still to farm. And we go back to a docile game again.
It's very important that Flare's Hecarim can get an early lead. It's one of his best champions, and he's actually 0-2 with it in the LCS, but getting that early lead so he can get an early home guard boot and start teleporting in to make plays, especially since he's not gone for the Smite Hecarim, just makes it so much more important.
Yeah, the thing is, Ignite TP Hecarim is more about the laning phase, about the prowess, which speaks back to Impulse going for that blind pick lane swap earlier in the game. Rumble can get no farm and just hit level 6 and be a useful champion. The fact that the top laners are still level 4, they're the level of the supports, or in some cases even lower,
Yeah,
These are going to be very low-impact players.
Double the level by the mid lane. So, yeah, it's going to take a while for these guys to catch up, especially with the frozen lanes and the sides being farmed by the 80 carries. There's choices being made that are saying the 80 carries need to continue to have this arms race, and the top laners are going to continue to get the short end of the stick. It's actually a trend that we don't see that much in the modern-day game because top laners are carrying and tanking a lot better than they used to. Yeah. This is almost a throwback to a type of game we'd see last year.
Absolutely the case, but here we go. Impact getting caught up here. He's only level 4, which means he could die fast. Trashy getting caught up. He's level 6. Oh, Inox dives in for the kill, but the knockups mean Yasuo says hello, and Xiao answers back. Adrian gets the kill credit, but out goes the rest of NME Esports trying to stay alive. Another knockup lands, won't get a kill, but a 1-for-1 trade, then a better one for Impulse.
Yeah, nice follow there from Xiao, knowing Rush was going to knock them up straight away with the barrel. They inbuilt synergies for this Yasuo, no longer just this random 5th pick Yasuo for Xiao. It's actually a team composition with damage distribution and knock-up assistance with which Yasuo can work.
And look at the extra aggression by Impulse. Apollo broke the freeze, shoved the wave down, and his team is already there to capitalize on this push. This turret nearly dead. The wave will still bounce back afterwards with not that much farm going to flares, but at least the income has finally started for this Horseman. As Otter just keeps freezing. He hasn't fought a champion in a long time.
Yeah. Looks like he's going Blade of the Ruined King first on Callista as well. Not your most common first item. We either see the Bloodthirster or the Hurricane as the first major completed item, but Blade of the Ruined King Callista it is. Now that he's hit his power spike, you would wonder if he's going to go wandering in for those team fights.
I don't know. But the way I normally see Callista, it feels like she doesn't team fight well till Hurricane, which is obviously very late in. But right now, Inox has to be a little afraid. Xiao has a knockup available. Fight it up, does not land the hook, but that's going to be a great tornado. A lot of damage to the enemy esports support, and the kill will go through. Can enemy trade back? Xiao, the javelin hits, and in comes Flares, charging with the ulti. A second kill picked up. Enemy winning the fight so far, but Rush with a great explosive cast knocks him right back in. A 2-for-2. Enemy esports on the retreat.
It really feels like Rush is playing with confidence this game, which is something that he was sorely lacking in some of his matches once he started to fall behind. But now he has the lead on a Trashy. He came in near the end of that. Beautiful ultimate to start knocking them back. Despite this game being very close, it definitely feels like it's an Impulse-style matchup thus far.
And even though the kill lead is with enemy esports, it feels like Impulse are the one controlling the pace just a little bit more here. The fact that they've nearly killed a turret in the bottom lane. They're up that first dragon.
Yeah, the interesting thing is how many kills enemies been able to pick up on the back end of a lot of these fights. Even the mid lane failed gank at the start of the game. It looked like it was going to fall just for Team Impulse, but then Inox is just able to squeeze out these kills. He's been losing lane, generally speaking, to the Yasuo, pushed in again and again, but he's found the kills. Now, 3 kills onto him. He still is lacking wave clear. This whole enemy team is severely lacking wave clear and is at risk of getting pushed in.
Which is exactly what Team Impulse are doing right now. The low wave clear makes defense really hard. Full wave here, and Corki with a Sheen doing plenty of damage here. Trashy looking for a bit of a flank move onto the top side because Flares is already here to fight. Impact does have Flash, still no ulti. Impact is still level 5. Flashes for no effect at all. Great kill picked up again for enemy esports, picking on Impact.
Wow. So yeah, a 2-level disadvantage for Impact. We were just talking about how it seemed like Team Impulse was winning, but we were omitting the other game that's been going on, which is the lane swap battle of who can actually pick up the scraps of farm, and Impact hasn't been able to get any. Yes, he's picked up 2 kills, so he's only down 300 gold, but that type of level discrepancy, level 7 versus level 5, is tremendously impactful.
I gotta say, maybe we're approaching some kind of record for the slowest a top laner reaches their ultimate, because Impact just now, 13:22 into the game, has the equalizer. Now it isn't time for Dragon number 2. Normally you have like Grub ult for Dragon 1, but the way this game plays out, he's got the power spike, he's ready with Haunting, guys.
Good luck pulling that stat. Give me slowest top laner to hit level 6 in LCS history.
Yep, I actually just asked that a minute ago while you were monologuing. You built me some time for that?
Yeah. I don't think we can do it.
I don't.
Someone on the internet might be able to, though.
All right.
I'd be impressed.
Yeah. Well,
that will draw a retweet if it is correct.
That will draw your retweet. The highest praise for you. I'll upvote your thread on Reddit or on the league boards, whichever one you choose. I'll find it. The enemy esports are here and ready for this. Now, problem is teleport is up for Impact. He's happily pushing the top lane. Enemy on a numbers disadvantage, have to make something happen soon, or they just let Rumble farm and farm and farm and catch up. And NME realizes they're not getting anything done here, and it's a failed Dragon attempt.
Yeah, so much of these fights are going to be in the setup, especially about whether or not Inox is able to poke down on Italy. The in-team fighting sync of NME is really strange. They have this one poke champion in Italy, and then everyone else on the team is like a team fight flank diver. So it's basically Inox having to land good poke, and then we'd want a TP initiate to come in to finish something. But once again, that's very reliant on Inox to do his job well.
Well, Inox has to do his job right now. Dragon's being started. Impact is recalling to buy items and maybe TP in for this Dragon. Looks like there's not going to be an attempt from NME Esports. And Dragon number 2 goes to Team Impulse. Now, Jat, I want you to retweet me here. We found it. Old slowest top laner to level 6 was 1055.
This split?
I assume
all time
of LCS. I assume LCS all time.
I don't believe that.
This split, just kidding.
All right.
Ha!
I want it all time.
I want it all time too.
Different stats, man.
All right, we're being betrayed by production.
But okay, this split, that's at least 2.5 minutes slower than we've seen yet in now 4 weeks of the LCS this split, so there's no way we can do it.
No, yeah, that's exactly what I was told as well.
It's
so,
impossible.
Internet, please help us. In the meantime, though, Rush happy to help his team. 2 Dragons to 0. Overall gold equalized in this one, and the poke could be pretty menacing. So far, Javelins are not yet landing, though, despite Inox's continual attempts. Orlanamicon plus blue buff does make him scary. And right now, it feels like Impulse are starting to get some really good pressure. All their lanes are winning in terms of farm, except for the top lane. Yeah, the aforementioned Impact.
But that jungle lane, though, it's up 22 CS.
Exactly.
Even though he's down 2 kills, he's up gold. This has honestly just been a game of killing Impact over and over again.
And speaking of, Impact has the ulti. The first one of the game helps his enemy team jungle.
Wow. They're picking on him.
Yeah.
Something fierce.
This is what TSM feels like. Spring split.
Yep. Pretty much. The world in which top lane... Like I said, this is kind of a throwback to a spring split game as well, where if a top laner falls behind, the game right now is NME just keeping Impact consistently out of the game. He will still become Rumble at some point, though. That's the thing about Equalizer. As soon as he's got his magic penetration item, so when he hits level 11, if that ever happens, his ultimate will be doing good damage.
It even fits the lore of Rumble as a champion.
Does it?
Like the big, he's like the big underdog. He's like scrappy. No one respects him. Hybridinger gets all the ladies, and then he's like, hey, I'm going to build a big robot and get my revenge.
So he builds a mech.
Yeah.
All right.
And he becomes one of the most important top laners in LCS history. That's canon.
Also slowest to level 6.
Yes.
Congratulations.
That's part of the origin story.
Yeah.
If you don't face adversity, you're never really a true hero.
36 CS at 17 minutes.
That's also rough. He's nearly getting out CS by Adrian. Like, it's close.
It's going to ruin his stats. Poor guy.
CSD at 17. Half. Ugh.
Yeah, anyway. This game overall, obviously, home guard boots completed onto Flare, so the flanks are a very real possibility. It still has to do with the poke from Italy. Team Impulse, they have been able to get Dragon control, which is actually incredibly huge for them this game, because they, with the Yasuo, if they can brute force their way in, start the Dragon, throw up the wind wall to stop the Italy spears, and just rush it down again and again, those are fights that Impulse wants to win and can win. So I think they're going to continue just trying to withstand the poke in between dragons and then just go for them on cooldown, because when they hit 5 dragons, that's their win condition here.
And that might be very solid for these guys. They got the first one early enough on that 5 is not out of the reach. It feels like Impulse have, my first thought, is a better team fighting team just because of how scary Yasuo can be on the squishy backline. Maybe some good engagements can come in. Flair's still getting chunked out by Apollo. He really wants this, but that's a bit greedy! Yeah, he wanted the farm. It was not worth the 34 gold.
Yeah, that was rough there. Apollo actually getting sneaky amount of power here. Trinity Force and Sork Shoes completed.
Nice wind wall. Has to, wow.
That was some respect right there.
Ult and flash out of Otter. Exhaust and flash out of body drop just for Yasuo saying, I got a tornado, dog.
But look at this. This is the lack of the wave clear from the NME team in general. This is both their soul laners basically losing the turret to just a Corki.
Maybe Rush is going to overstep, though, as well. Both these teams playing a little bit too hard. Rumble Equalizer comes in from well over the wall, but Otter gets the kill onto Rush. Impact still Oh, not exactly scary. Flares has ulti if they want to fight anymore. Adrian goes for the engage on Inox, gets nothing for it except the kill on a body drop. Adrian will lose his life. Both supports dead. Flares does turn one back around, but in comes Apollo. Summoner heal keeps him alive. A double kill so far for Otter. Make that a triple kill. Actually, one goes over to Inox, but a big lead for NME Esports off that.
Wow, a long extended fight right there. Would definitely be a bit of an overchase by the majority of Impulse. All started with Rush getting caught out of position. Impact still too weak to meaningfully help. Then also the fact that the Hecarim who died at the very start wasn't necessarily being respected for his death timer, so he came in at the end. All very big moments that fall in the favor of NME.
A fight without Xiao definitely a rough one here. NME Esports now sitting on a 1,400 gold lead, and the turret's equalized. I want to point out Xiao has a Phage here. He's going for, I think, Black Cleaver.
Or Trinity Force. I've seen Trinity Force on Yasuo.
Really?
Anyway, yeah, Rush was going for a flank. I think they were trying to turret dive because they'd had so much success in the mid lane turret. But because that didn't work, NME gets the flash around. A little bit out of sync because Xiao is down in that bottom lane on Yasuo trying to create split push pressure. He does get the turret, but the rest of his team got ran over by a dead horse, unfortunately. Nice set of kills as well for Otter.
Really slick by Otter to pop the Ren, not for the kill, but to land the slow to get his team in range. I've seen so many kills where like there's like 17 Ren stacks on target, but they wanted the execute, and it just like walks away without getting hit. It's good to see Otter able to watch the fight as it goes in. Impulse with an 800 here as Dragon's going to spawn for the third time on this map. Traditionally, Impulse has done a great job controlling it. The enemy kind of threatening Baron, but at the same time, mid lane's also being threatened here.
This is the Dragon, though.
Yeah.
So, Impulse just lost a pretty big fight. They do have Rumble Equalizer up, but it's only rank 1. This is still a very, very sad Rumble. Level 9. Interesting how NME, instead of contesting the third Dragon, is actually pressuring the Baron. They would need to force a fight, because otherwise, Impulse can just posture and solo the Dragon out. Let's see here.
Xiao is out of flow, and he's soloing this Dragon here. Low on health, gets the solo kill, though. And here comes the engage. Rush looking for the nice knockups come in. Where will the fight start? Body drop's going to be the first kill. This one. Fear comes in towards Rush, and a Xiao. Whoa! Gets the last breath in time. Doesn't get any kills for it, though. It's going to be still 3 coming into overall for Team Impulse. Just enough damage dealt. Otter forced to run, but he's got nowhere to go. Rush with the barrel. Nice anchor from Adrian. A double kill for Impact. He's back in the game.
And that can go straight into the Baron. That's exactly what Team Impulse wanted. Not only did they get the third Dragon, but they also got the team fight without any poke landing on them, since NME was running back and forth between Baron and Dragon. I'd say poor calls overall by NME right there. They should have been trying to posture around the Dragon and get poke in, but Impulse got the team fight they wanted. We know why that was the type of team comp they're playing, and they found the fight.
Oh, what a good fight by Team Impulse, just barely landing the setup for the Yasuo ulti right as he was about to die. The damage dealt allowed them 2 more kills. Top lane turret goes down, but with the Baron gold in hand, Impulse set to pull ahead in this game, up 2,000 and maybe more soon.
Yeah, as long as they can play clean. One Achilles heel of Team Impulse this year is when they've been able to get that small little lead, they actually haven't extended as well as they did in the spring. Coming back to this fight, though, Xiao doesn't take the ultimate on the first Nautilus ult. They get a good Rumble ultimate as well. And then,
he exhausted Inox that saved his life.
Just about to die, and he gets the triple ult. What a massive, massive play by Xiao to solo the Dragon and then come back at 0-2-5 Yasuo, but 100 CS lead onto Inox because of all the split pushing he's been doing.
Really high impact this game from the Team Impulse mid laner. Knocks up Trashy, looking to keep the movement speed up with Phage, and he's doing a great job for it, going right to Infinity Edge after Phage. So just getting it for the stats it provides, goes for the ulti in onto Trashy, might just solo out this Rek'Sai, and does so. Xiao making a lot of big plays.
He's not done.
He wants to kill everybody here, looks for Otter, can't quite do it, but Exhaust and Summoner heal, everything used to keep him alive. That means more map control. Impulse knocked down their 5th turret.
This is why you should always just let Xiao play Yasuo. Even if it doesn't look good at first, he will always try and make the big play. He's so comfortable on that champion. The pressure he drew down into the bottom lane. Now with the Baron, they can get that middle inhibitor cracked open. The turret is down. Next time they win a team fight, they can take it easy.
The 24 kills in as many minutes this game. Impulse definitely giving us entertaining games in the summer split here. The risks this time around starting to pay off later on in the game. 3,000 gold lead puts them in a nice spot. Infinity Edge plus Static Shift now done for Xiao. A lot of good things just got completed.
Yeah. Jeez. What if we go Trinity Force next? Yeah, we'll see what that Phage ends up becoming.
I guess it does give you the last 10 crit chance, huh?
Yeah. Either way, some big plays being made by Team Impulse after having NME taking a few edges. All the objective and turret trades are going towards Impulse, so NME needs to do something kind of miraculous to come back here. Inox has in Italy been, despite the 4 kills, fairly underwhelming.
Yeah.
Really see the weaknesses being punished. Not having the wave clear, not having the dueling potential that he's needed, and Xiao is just bloated from the start.
Yeah, Exhaust Yasuo has done a really good job of preventing these kills. Inox has been playing Cougar form about half the game and looking for the burst kills and really timely exhaust to prevent that from mattering and just putting that Nidalee into a dangerous situation instead. So all props to Xiao for a split pushing and props for Impact getting back into this game. He's actually now the kill leader of his team, despite still being the least farmed of anyone who's not a support in this game.
Well, we did say he is going to become Rumble at some point. Now he has a 2nd rank into the Ultimate, plus the Leandries, and I mean soon to be Zhonya's. That's all you really need as a Rumble to have an impact in the game. And even in the fight they won, he had a good Rumble ulti down to begin with.
Another time from the bottom lane here. Chaplin won't quite land, but it forces the teleport from Impact here. In comes Trash. The fight is still on, and Xiao, of course, very low. Equalizer comes across. 1 kill picked up. Xiao lands a knockup, goes for Inox. Is it going to be enough? The Zhonya's pop means there's going to be some trade damage back through, but an ult from Adrian going to buy some time. The Ren doesn't quite kill, but a Hurricane Bolt does. A 2-for-0 in favor of NME Esports. A great hook off the Fate's call will knock in Adrian. Trashy picks up a kill as well, his 5th of the game, and now NME Esports the team with the lead.
That was not a good teleport.
No.
For a number of reasons. They'd already used a lot of their CC, or they didn't have any CC. His teleporting wasn't going to do much. He's underleveled. It's a big mistake for Team Impulse. Another one that has plagued them so far this split. They give up a lot of their advantages. Dragon in 1 minute, at least they'll be respawned for that. That's what they want to force. But the pressure they had created on the map has dissipated.
Speaking of pressure on the map, teleport advantage now for Flares as well. We watch this 1v2 again.
Yeah, I mean, he throws out the wind wall early on. Xiao is playing it relatively well, but he doesn't get the knockup queued. Impact is just kind of there, and then he comes in to immediately die. They had no vision on the Rek'Sai when he comes in. Impact doesn't get hardly any damage out. And then Xiao decides to go back in what was basically a 1v3 at this point. Zhonya's no longer blocks the damage on the Yasuo ultimate. At least it shouldn't. It looked like, I couldn't tell if it did in that one. But either way, it wasn't nearly enough to kill him.
Not nearly enough indeed. So NME Esports now looking for Luden's Echoes. We track the Nidalee build here. Zhonya's to survive the matchup. Otherwise, just a bunch of poke damage. By the way, no boots still for Inox. He's just getting ability power items.
Yeah.
So fun to track the builds here either way. Dragon has respawned, and again, TP advantage for NME Esports. So Impact is just on the Dragon. They're going to take Scuttles. They're going to push this as fast as possible, but the top inhibitor turret could get pushed in. In fact, NME Esports going for the play on to Xiao. Bit of damage dealt. He puts the wind wall in. The rest of Impulse now on the chase, but where is Flares going to be? As it's a 5v4 with Otter getting caught out. Flashes the wall, takes a ton of damage, and Adrian gets the kill credit. Recall from the Hecarim, but it's a 5 versus 3 Impulse in complete control. Ready to push even farther in.
It's the damnedest thing about watching Team Impulse play. They make a huge mistake and then they'll follow it up with a really nice play. This one was again Xiao creating an opportunity in the mid lane.
The mid lane is where the inhibitor will go down after the 2-for-0. Dragon still on the field. That will be number 4 for Team Impulse. It seems like objectives just keep going the correct way for the red team here. NME Esports did not play around the teleport well at all. They gave away that team fight. TAP capitalized very nicely.
Yeah. And now it's Dragon number 4. We thought that the 4 to 5 Dragons would be a major win condition for Team Impulse right here, and they're now 6 minutes away from number 5.
34-25, the game time of Dragon 5 spawning on the map. NME Esports have allowed all the members to respawn. They're running to the top jungle. Baron is up in 30 seconds. And they still hold the teleport lead for 2 minutes. We've got wards in the jungle. There's warning pings from TIP here.
Yeah.
It looks like no one is willing to face check.
Unless they're together. Rush would be the only one you'd want to go in with, but you need your damage behind you.
ward. They see Inox, they see flares, and here's the attempted engage. Xiao has used his tornado. There's 1 Q, there's 2. He's got the knockup one more time. He can land it on a flares, does so, doesn't pop the ulti body drop. Gonna go for the flash, a great wind wall, but Xiao keeps him alive. Another knockup on a flares, great disengage. Xiao playing it out properly. And once again, Impulse holding control.
Doing a significant amount of damage to flares on the way out as well, so. Despite the scoreline, this game is really all about Xiao's Yasuo and how much pressure he's been able to create. Also props to Apollo. His Corki, when he hit that level 11 power spike, created a lot of pressure on the map. If it gets late enough, though, you know, it definitely will fall off. He's built the Last Whisper and his Sorcerer shoes already, so the scaling opportunities for Corki are kind of few and far between at this point.
Yeah, we'll see where else the build takes him. Infinity Edge likely to be the last slot, which will help him, I guess, a little bit. Otter on his way towards Bloodthirster, the standard double lifesteal build for the Kalista. If she can navigate fights, then good for her, but Windwall can certainly drop the damage output of enemy esports since most of their carries are ranged here. There's Echo down on Inox. A lot of clean direction on him with the blue buff as well, and he's just taking a whole bunch of farm. But enemy esports forced to play very much on the back foot. Team Impulse wanting to set up Baron with very little ward control for the blue team. Baron already started, gonna force the recall into teleport from flares.
Frying orb in, they can throw a Thresh in there as well. It's basically about peeling for a fight.
But Trashy's already dead before the fight even begins, and the Equalizer is great to buy a lot of time. More kills come through, a slaughter over to enemy esports. 3 kills picked up. The hook's gonna not mean much, and a double kill for Xiao. 4-0 in that fight, and a super minion in the mid lane to push the base down.
I really like what Team Impulse has done this game about forcing objectives so that they can get fights. Every time enemy walks close, they're not having time to poke. They get Nautilus salted or Gragas salted, which then combos into a Yasuo last breath, and this could be game.
This could be game indeed, chat. 10 seconds ago until anyone respawns from the lineup. Otherwise, it is a 1 versus 5. Inox just now gets the recall off, being chased out by Xiao. The recalls come in, the respawns are here, and it's going to be just an inhibitor turret. That could have been Baron.
Whoa, yeah. The death timers were not quite as long as I expected them to be. We've had a lot of 45-minute games today, Freak.
Yeah.
This one only 30 minutes in, so the death timers haven't hit the max rank yet.
All right, so
I guess we get to play more League of Legends.
We get to play more League of Legends, but enemy esports are missing a large portion of their base. 4-7 in turret, 16-17 in kills, a clean 5,000 gold lead for the returning LCS team. Battle for 6th place on the line. Both teams at 3 and 4. Enemy esports now making the bold run towards Baron. No Equalizer for about 10 seconds right now, maybe.
Begin to describe it. Yeah, they have the Ren to maybe secure it, but everyone on Team Impulse is going to be going for them. Time to turn tail.
Down to 4,000 health, and it's going to be Impulse. Maybe looking for a good engage here. Windwall can really stop it from happening. A big wave in the bot lane that is pushing in that maybe does some damage here. Keep in mind, with a missing Nexus turret, the dead inhibitor will just mean a dead Nexus turret.
Yes.
The second one can't defend itself easily.
Yeah, even with 2 Nexus turrets, oftentimes a super minion wave with the right stack will kill a turret. With 1, it's not even a contest. You need someone back there to defend it. And with Flares burning his teleports already, it makes the Baron Force or even the Dragon Force in 1 minute and 40 seconds for 5th Dragon even more advantageous for Team Impulse. We've said it before, but Team Impulse is in control of this game. If they play their cards right, they've got this. Enemy is trying to force a mistake here, but it looks like they may be making the mistake themselves.
Well, there's a bit of time without the AD carry or the top laner, about 10 seconds until those guys join in. Baron's still getting attempted here. Binder losing a lot of health. The engage comes in towards Otter. Rush doing a lot of damage here. Xiao exhausted and running now into the fight. He's going to land the ulti onto 1. The shutdown comes in. Xiao is dead. And how well can the team kite? Otter is alive. 2 kills already. But here comes Apollo with a vengeance, trying to get the kill on the opposing AD carry. That will go Impulse's way. Inox and Trashy only 2 alive versus 3 standing members of Team Impulse. That is a 1 fight, but Inox has some poke.
Yeah, but he's out of mana right now, so he cannot continue the onslaught of poke for very long. Even so, Impulse backs away. Another close fight that basically is going to reset things for this Dragon coming up in 45 seconds, Freak.
Well, Trash was able to heal, and he has his ultimate. Inox going to be forced to do something very similar. Sork Shoes done on him.
Yeah, so I mean, looking at this one more time, enemy Needed about another 1,000 damage done to the Baron if they wanted to burst it, but Rush got in there in time. But then the approach from Impulse was slow. Obviously, the Rumble was down back in the bottom, which is why it was slow. Rumble ult comes in, doesn't necessarily hit everyone, and this is where it got pretty close. If not for the Valk flash forward from Apollo, Otter may have been able to Callista the rest of that fight out, jumping back and back and back. But Apollo had his priorities straight. Great game from him. 6-1 on Corki.
Absolutely wonderful for him, and it is going to be Infinity Edge last, but NME Esports have to stop Dragon 5. They go right away. Impulse are here, the Righteous Glory pop. Oh. Here comes the engage. Smite comes through, picked up by Rush. Dragon 5 is in. Flare's going to die to the fire, and Inox now also jumped on, has nowhere to go. 3 kills already picked up, and Impulse with a minion wave in the mid lane could maybe look for the win.
The straw that breaks the camel's back may have been a nice smite right there by Rush. So desperate of NME. They really wanted to avoid the 5th dragon, so they end up trying to force a fight without prep, which is exactly what Impulse wanted in the first place. Then you get the fact that Impulse got the dragon smite for the 5th dragon, and this is going to be game. This time,
This one for sure, yeah, unless there's some kind of crazy misstep. This will be it. Shao with the wind wall to really buy a lot of time for his team. The last turret goes down, 12 seconds on the respawns here, and Team Impulse will improve their record to 500. 4-4, sole position in 6th place. Congratulations to